Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling. My name is BrendenPlayz. It's been a while. I apologize. It's been a while since we've done an episode. Haven't had internet. I haven't been able to upload. So apologies for the delay. We are now back. We'll be doing a lot more TEW over the next week or two before we get into W2K18 full on. So we're going to do probably a few real good weeks of TEW. Then we might have maybe a couple of week break in between. We'll have to wait and see what happens or what, where we're going. But I probably would say we're going to do a bit of more of a break after that. But we're going to do Bound for Glory very, very soon. It's obviously coming up. We're going to take a quick little recap of our last few episodes. We'll go back to No Surrender. This is where we had the final of the Bound for Glory series, and Muhammad Hassan won the Bound for Glory series and will have an opportunity against Christian for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship at the upcoming Bound for Glory pay-per-view. We had another Impact show afterwards, and we started the Jeff Hardy-Scott Steiner rivalry as well. We got Awesome Kong. She's now a part of the main roster as well, called up from developmental. We got MVP as well, of course. And as well as that, we had Jeff Hardy and Christian. They defeated Hassan and Scott Steiner in a tag team match. Samoa Joe beat Kazarian, and we continued to build on those rivalries with a lot more angles and things like that as well. So some decent shows, and we've got one more episode, one more edition of so two more editions of Impact. So we've got this week and next week, then it will be Bound for Glory. So we'll see if we can get to both of those in this episode here today. In terms of any major decisions or anything like that, there's no real news right now, as we are up to date and ready to go for our next episode of Impact. And we're just going to continue building towards it and continue hyping up the show and moving our storylines along. So a quick look at the storylines. You can see our one of our knockout storylines, 74 between Italian Brooks. Sting and Abyss is going well. Hardy and Steiner, not too bad. Homicide and Sabu need to do a little bit more towards that. Skipper and Truth, really just an explosion rivalry, not much there. Joe and Styles, we need to build that a little bit further. The Team Canada and Dutch Dynasty rivalry, I'm happy with that progression. Same with Morgan Tanahashi. Melina and Gail Kim has been really good. America's Most Wanted in 3D, we need probably to do a little bit more with that as well. They've had a couple of matches, but we'll maybe try and do a couple of segments just to bump it up a little bit. Christian and Hassan, well, it started well with 100 with the angle, but dropped after their matchup that they had. So we'll have to try and really rectify that in the next few episodes. Shelley and Angel going quite well, and Kazarian and Chris Sabin, not too bad either. So that's where our rivalries and our storylines are at right now. We'll go ahead, we'll get some of these shows ready to go and booked up, because we need to get ourselves to Bound for Glory. So we won't muck around too much in this episode. We'll get straight on in. Okay, so for Explosion this week, we started things off with a big brawl. So picture a backstage brawl, Dudley's and America's Most Wanted, weapons, throwing each other into cars, things like that. So a big backstage brawl. These guys are fighting everywhere until they get broken up by security. Good start to the show. We had a big 8-man tag. We put Skipper, Shane, Tess and Albert against Truth, Rhino and the New Age Outlaws. We gave A-Train the victory, but it was a little bit controversial. He kind of cheated his way. The Road Dogg was disqualified while fighting A-Train, so DQ actually was the result in the end. Notably, Michael Shane, very crappy, pretty average, pretty poor compared to the rest. Tess, though, 65, slowly improving, certainly improving. He's getting there, so not bad there. Hassan and Christian, we did a hype video towards them, so kind of just hyping up their matchup. Good way to kind of build their storyline heat there, and that was what the strategy there behind it was. Jay Lethal and Matt Morgan, we had Matt Morgan comfortably get the victory. We had Dutch Mantel on commentary, and apparently, well, BrendenPlayz and Dutch Mantel really clashed horribly on the announcer's table, so that's not good. So that was not good at all. Matt Morgan, though, 83 in-ring performance. This is why we are still sticking with this guy. He's doing really, really well. Samoa Joe, he had a promo hyping up his match against AJ. And then we had Homicide and Matt Sydal close out the show. Homicide, really good in-ring performance. And afterwards, we had Sabu come out there and attack Homicide, and continuing their rivalry. So that's Explosion. We didn't use any women on the show. I forgot. I honestly forgot to put some women on the show. So there you go. So that brought it down a little bit, but that's okay. It's only Explosion at the end of the day. But we need to remember for this week's Impact, use our women, and that was always the plan anyway. So we'll book Impact, and we'll show the results in a moment. Okay, so we kick things off with Alyssa Flash with a victory over Jazz in the pre-show. Shannon Moore get a victory over Sonjay Dutt on the pre-show as well. We've got 3 segments of build towards Shannon Moore's turn. Might try and aim for maybe 5 before we do pull the trigger, or at least after Bound for Glory we might do that. Kick things off with Muhammad Hassan trying to tell Christian all about his culture. So Muhammad Hassan, I guess doing some in the ring, kind of getting Christian there, telling him all, how great it is to be part of his, culture and whatnot, trying to, inform Christian all about it, I guess, and Christian was having none of it. So just a kind of way to, build Muhammad Hassan up a little bit more as a heel and kind of play off that foreign heel, bad guy type of thing. Good start to the show, 99 rated anyways. Tanahashi had a victory over Austin Aries one-on-one, just to keep on building him up. Alright, then we then did Jeff Hardy was backstage having an interview, and then Scott Steiner came out and attacked Jeff Hardy with a lead pipe, attacking Jeff in the knee, and Jeff was ruled out of tonight's show, so he could not compete here tonight. We then did Melina versus Awesome Kong, and that was actually a pretty good match. 79 rated matchup between the two, but it was cut short thanks to a disqualification when Gail Kim ran in and attacked Melina. So Awesome Kong was disqualified. So Melina won by DQ. And afterwards, Melina was saved thanks to Molly Holly, and because Gail Kim and Awesome Kong continued the beatdown on Melina, but Molly Holly came out for the save, and we might set up for a tag match next Impact. And we then... actually, I think I might have messed this segment up, maybe. I don't know. No, I didn't, actually. I just didn't change the name here. So, we had Roddy Piper come out, and he forced Scott Steiner to compete in a match tonight. So, Scotty Steiner obviously pissed off after what's been happening. He's in an aggressive mood, so we forced him into a match against Rhino. Steiner did get the victory over Rhino in the end. 80 rated matchup. Jeff Hardy was nowhere to be seen, but Scott Steiner continues to look strong, getting ready for their match at Bound for Glory. And this is an interesting one. So we had Abyss and James Mitchell. They were in the middle of the ring, and they're talking about the death of Sting. So Sting's in the middle. Sting's obviously meant to be in the casket, I should say. So there's a casket in the ring. Abyss is talking about how he's going to finish and kill the career of Sting, and the casket will signify the end of Sting. And then out came Sting. He opened the casket. Sting was in the casket, and then he laid out Abyss and James Mitchell. So maybe with that segment we can build towards a casket match between Sting and Abyss at Bound for Glory. That might be a good idea. So Abyss trying to kill the career of Sting, I guess you could say. Tracy Brooks had a promo hyping up a match against Natalya. Not great. Not good at all. So that kind of backfired on us a little bit. We then had a music video hyping up Goldberg's appearance at Bound for Glory. And then our main event, we had our 6-man tag match, Styles and The Addiction versus Joe and the Motor City Machine Guns. Only 84 rated. I expected probably a little bit more out of this one. But still pretty good. Fallen Angel was the best out of the lot. Samoa Joe closely following that up as well. Kazarian quite clearly the worst out of the lot. But that was a pretty good matchup there, and that was our main event to close out the show. A good way to kind of highlight our X Division guys there and build 3 different rivalries in the one matchup there. 88 rated show overall, thanks to a couple of good segments to get us through. Happy with that. We'll take that, and we've just about kind of continued to build up every storyline we've got. We missed out on a few, most notably probably Team Canada and Dutch Dynasty. Missed out on that one a little bit. But other than that, we've pretty much covered all bases this week. So happy with that. And we just need to kind of continue that momentum into Bound for Glory. Now, the one thing we haven't done yet is get Lashley on the show. We do have Paul Heyman available, but we haven't used Lashley. We may debut Heyman at Bound for Glory with Lashley, or we might wait until after Bound for Glory. 3.68 rating overall, and that's pretty good. We'll take that. We'll just take a quick little look. We'll see if Goldberg any change to his popularity. Still the same, despite not being used in the music videos. Awesome Kong, not much of a change. And Styles, I want to check out Samoa Joe, 72. That's pretty good. But so we've got Lashley. Lashley about 74, 75-ish, around about that mark. And we're going to put Paul Heyman with him. And I guess the question is, we really kind of go with Lashley big time, we push him right to the top, or do we just have a continual rise, a slow build? It's kind of a hard one to kind of really, decide what the best strategy would be. But overall, pretty good. So far, so good. Scott Steiner still looking pretty strong. Jeff Hardy, might need to continue building him up a little bit more. But yeah, taken out thanks to Scott Steiner on Impact, and I was pretty happy with that Sting and Abyss segment. I was happy when I found that angle. I thought that would be a nice one, and we could definitely do a casket match there between the two, and that might suit Sting more with his brawling stats as well. If we make the casket more of a brawl match, or, I don't know what a casket match would be, or a regular match or a brawl. We'll have to wait and see. But that is this week's Impact, and we'll kind of advance until next week, and we'll check in to see if there's any notable news. But if not, we'll get into booking our final show before Bound for Glory. Okay, so not a lot really took place over the last week. We'll have a quick look. So we missed out on getting Dolph Ziggler. He's going to stay with the WWE. That kind of sucks. I mean, we would like to have had him on our roster, but it is probably for the best. We might not have a place for him really. Chris Jericho is going to continue to tour with All Japan. So he's he's a definite main eventer. He's actually signed a pay-per appearance deal with DDT, but he's going to continue touring with All Japan. So there you go. He's actually kind of sticking to one place, and that's going to be DDT. So we can't sign him yet. I was hoping if I clicked that it would actually work. It didn't work. And Steve Corino is going to do the same. Now Corino has pretty decent popularity and is a pretty good worker. So he's going to be staying there on a written basis, so he's out of the question as well. Jeremy Boros wanted to go to the main roster. We're going to put him into the main roster because I wanted to do a few interview segments on the last episode of Impact that you saw a moment ago, and rather than using my own user character BrendenPlayz, I want to use Jeremy Borash as that interviewee rather. So we'll keep him in that role, and we might as well utilize him there. And Carlito, he's actually going to go ahead and tour All Japan as well, and I don't know why he's not a written worker. For whatever reason, he's paper appearance in WWE. That's rare. Sonjay Dutt has suffered arthritis, and what kind of injury is that going to do? Is just nothing really. He's going to be able to work through it. Is there any kind of medical concerns we have to worry about? 5 days. So arthritis, 5-day injury. Okay, I don't know about that, but we'll roll with it. One thing that did happen was WWE had their pay-per-view. I believe it was No Mercy. We'll have a quick little look. It was, so No Mercy. It was an 89 rated show, headlined by Kane and the Big Show beating Batista and Rey Mysterio. Rob Van Dam defended the WWE Championship against Ric Flair. And Booker T still the US champ. Daivari still the Cruiserweight champ. Candice Michelle still the Women's champion. Masters and Carlito still the tag champs. And I believe that's it for championship matches. So there you go. That's where we're at right there. So No Mercy, 89 rated. So that's kind of what we have to try and beat at Bound for Glory. And hopefully we can do better than that. But Bound for Glory, I'm expecting 94, 95. That's a big ask. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. Especially our build-up hasn't been that strong, I don't think. Our storylines are going well, but I just feel like some of our key storylines could be better. And we'll have to wait and see. Who knows? We definitely have to get this one, Hassan and Christian, up a little bit more. We did that nicely last week. We got it up a bit from 82 to 88. So we can get it into the 90s. That'll give us a good chance to have the best possible show. So we'll get into the next episode of Impact and Explosion, our final one before the Bound for Glory pay-per-view. It's going to be a big one. We'll see what happens on this show. Okay, so for Explosion, we had Sarita going one-on-one with Tracy Brooks in the pre-show matchup, and actually Sarita's gimmick got a rating of great. Actually thought I already debuted Sarita, so I probably wasn't meant to debut, but it was a pre-show match. It's fine, get her on there, see what she can do. Tracy Brooks got the victory after Natalya accidentally interfered and hit Sarita. We gave Shannon Moore another matchup. Frankie Kazarian got an easy victory over him. We did that just, continue to build towards Shannon Moore's turn. Scott Steiner had an interview hyping up his match against Jeff Hardy. Very successful segment. We had a tag match. Matt Morgan and Team Canada took on the Dutch Dynasty, and it was the Dutch Dynasty with the victory. Tanahashi got a win over Matt Morgan. And the notable performances, Bobby Roode and Kenta were the two best in the match. Sabu and Homicide, well, Sabu was in the ring, and, well, he got beat down by Homicide. Gail Kim was in the ring as well, and called out Melina. And Melina came out to confront Gail Kim, but Awesome Kong attacked her and took her down, and it was a bad attack, apparently, a very bad attack. James Storm and Chris Harris hopped up against their match against Team 3D. And then Sabu and A-Train went one-on-one as well. Homicide ran in and screwed over Sabu, who was not 100% for the matchup. So A-Train with the victory there. 84 rated Explosion. And we'll check out this week's Impact. And, well, this week's a big one. We really need to utilize our minutes and utilize our time. The angles are probably the best thing to do, just to continue to separate our guys from one another. So we'll have to see how we can utilize this the best to try and make sure these storylines get going. We've certainly improved the Jeff Hardy and Scott Steiner one. I think keeping Scott Steiner with the promos against Jeff Hardy is probably the way to go. Jeff Hardy technically is probably injured in storyline, so he probably won't be able to appear anyways. So we'll go from there. So at the moment, I think Abyss and Sting is our best one, but we haven't really done much with it. We'll need to continue that on this week. So let's get into it. Okay, so the last episode of Impact before Bound for Glory. Rebecca Knox got a victory over Sarah Del Rey. Knox, 69 rated performance, so she's really improving. That was a pre-show match. Also in the pre-show, Sabu basically introducing Homicide to, I guess, obviously we're going to do a hardcore type of match between the two. So Sabu kind of introducing Homicide to hardcore, that he's not afraid of hardcore and that he's ready to get in there. So he's really prepared for the hardcore situation. So Homicide's kind of entering in Sabu's world, I suppose you could say. Kicked off the show with the contract signing. You knew it was coming. Hassan and Christian. And Muhammad Hassan taunted Christian, talked some trash. And then they both ended up brawling as Roddy Piper tried to break things up. The GM, of course, or the president of TNA. Following that, we had Molly Holly and Gail Kim. After what happened last week, we had the one-on-one match between the two. Melina obviously not able to compete after getting taken out. And Awesome Kong helped Molly Holly lose that match by distracting her. AJ Styles got a promo on Samoa Joe. Brother Ray and Chris Harris went one-on-one. Pretty good match, 83 rated between the two, when we gave Chris Harris the win by cheating. Scott Steiner went on a classic rant. A Scott Steiner rant only that Scott Steiner could do. He'd had one against Jeff Hardy, so ranting on him, 92 rated, excellent. We had the Addiction versus Mostly Machine Guns just before they have their big matchup at the pay-per-view. And look at this. Alex Shelley, 98 in-ring performance. Chris Sabin, 93 in a tag match. Unbelievable. But the problem was we only had 82 rated. Despite those excellent in-ring performances, still didn't quite get the rating we would have been hoping for. But yeah, that's really, really good. Afterwards, we had Fallen Angel and Alex Shelley staring at each other face to face. Just a big stare down before their big X Division match at Bound for Glory. And a music video hyping up Goldberg, of course. But afterwards, we have Jeff Jarrett challenging Goldberg at the pay-per-view, saying, "Hey, if you're going to be there, well, why don't you take me on? Let's go. Let's do it." So Jeff Jarrett challenging Goldberg at Bound for Glory. Tracy Brooks, we had a magazine cover with her just to kind of get another woman on the show, hyping up her sex appeal. Probably the last time she can do one before she goes and gets pregnant. Then we had Scott Steiner and AJ Styles going one-on-one, and this is actually a lot better than I expected. 89 rated, so that's excellent. We had Samoa Joe come in and attack AJ Styles because AJ Styles was counted out because he was fighting Samoa Joe ringside. So Scott Steiner picks up the victory because of that. It's a really good start between the two, to be honest. And to close out the show, really good segment here. We had Abyss, Sting, and Test and A-Train. So Abyss comes down to the ring with a casket and cuts a promo on Sting. Sting comes running down and they start brawling. So playing off the casket, he gets the upper hand, but only momentarily before Test and A-Train hit the ring and attack. And the reason why we did that is because I see Test and A-Train as like a hired gun team. Like if someone needs their help, needs their assistance, they're willing to come in and do so. So Test and A-Train was required by Abyss, and they both came out and attacked Sting for Abyss. Sting gets destroyed 3-on-1 and under orders of Abyss. He gets thrown into the casket and locked in to close out the episode just before Bound for Glory. So Sting gets locked in the casket. Will it happen at Bound for Glory? Very possible. 92 rated show. Those big segments to close out, and a good Steiner and AJ Styles match helped the show big time. So good show overall. A strong way to close things out before we get to Bound for Glory. And I'm kind of liking what we're doing with Abyss and Sting. I'm liking this casket thing we're doing there, so I'm enjoying that one. So that's the build. That's what we've done just before Bound for Glory. I'm excited. I think Bound for Glory is going to be great. Fingers crossed. I'm, a little nervous that we might not get the result I'm hoping for. I'm nervous that maybe Christian and Muhammad Hassan doesn't live up to the hype. I'm hoping that it does. We'll have to wait and see. Oh wow, here's one. Edge. Edge's contract is up. It's available. And I don't think we're going to be able to contract. No, I was going to say if we could get Edge and Christian, wow, that would be huge. But too small for him. He won't negotiate. So there goes that. Ah, man, that would have been awesome, but not to be at all. 3.38. Sorry, 3.83 I should say TV rating for Impact. That's one of our better ones, honestly. That's huge. So that's a really good rating to get before Bound for Glory. And realistically, we should be getting those types of ratings. So I'll have a quick look at what our best rating is overall. We'll have a... No, that's not the one. User stats. So yeah, that's actually our best TV rating we've ever produced. 3.83. So that's excellent. Our best show ever is 94. So keep that in the back of our minds when we try and get to Bound for Glory. Can we beat 94? Fingers crossed we can. And so far we've got some really good matches I'm looking forward to. We got some good ones that I think will be pretty important for us, and I'm liking some of the storylines we're building, and I think things are going pretty well. Quick look at the storylines, I suppose. Look at this one, Abyss and Sting. They may not have a great in-ring match because of Sting's, ability, but I tell you what, they'll have a good match in terms of, crowd involvement. They're certainly going to be involved in that one. We did get Christian and Hassan to 91, so that's very, very positive. Some of the other ones, everything's gone pretty well. What was that, 89? Samoa Joe and AJ got to 89, so that's excellent. After that good match they had, that really helped out. Hardy and Styles going well. So overall, things are looking pretty good. We should have some good storylines coming in. Hopefully, we can deliver. Hopefully, we can get the result we're looking for. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll wrap things up there, and we'll get ready for our upcoming Bound for Glory. Just a quick look at SmackDown. They had a 90 rated show. Batista defeated Undertaker and Triple H in a 97 rated match. That's pretty good to retain the title. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us again. I apologize for the delay in videos. We'll be back with more episodes, including Bound for Glory, very, 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 very soon. More videos coming soon, as we'll try and ramp it up a little bit before the 2K18 break. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next episode.